all you beautiful people, welcome back to another video. Today we're doing something, one of my favorites. I've actually done this once before. I did it earlier this year, a rapid fire Q&A. So I put up an ask me anything, any question you wanted to know up on my Instagram. So if you aren't following me there, be sure, there's a link below. What was your favorite car you have owned? This one, for sure. Are you ever buying a Lamborghini? Gosh, I hope so. If you guys know anything about me, you know that I'm a McLaren fanboy, so McLaren for sure is up first, but after that, this is one of my favorite questions. How did you come up with suns out, buns out? The legendary term coined by one of the first videos on my channel when we did the hot tub. We did the hot tub in the back of my Tacoma. I used to have a Toyota Tacoma. We filled it up, we put an inflatable pool in there, and filled up with hot water. And like everybody was hesitant to get in the pool, and I was just like, well, sun's out, buns are out, get your buns in the pool, and it's stuck. All right, boys, you know the rules. Sun's out, buns out, get your buns in the pool. When is the GTR getting the upgraded headlights? Hi from Hong Kong. Hello from Salt Lake City, Utah. That's dope to hear that people are watching all the way from Hong Kong. GTR is definitely getting updated headlights at some point. Ever since we got the car buttoned up for SEMA, I just really haven't gotten around to anything else on the car. How much power are you gonna shoot for on the GTR? So currently the car's sitting at about 600 wheel horsepower, a little over 600 on E85. I would love to be well into the thousands, especially since James is building his. It's gonna be like 12, 13, 1400, something like that. The problem is, it's a lot of money. Like, to put that in perspective, 1,000 horsepower on the C6 is somewhere in the neighborhood of like $10,000 to $15,000. For that same power level on the GTR, we're looking at like, I don't know, probably $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 to start with. But if I'm gonna keep up with James, we gotta do it.
Oh, have you lived in Utah all your life? Yes, I did spend about 2 years in Spain, which was super sick, but yes, lived in Utah all my life. When is your birthday? February 28th, 1992. Where did you grow up? Utah. Man, Nicholas with the dope questions. How's life? Life's great. How are you so happy all the time? Man, isn't that the golden question? And honestly, I wish that were true. I wish I was happy all the time. And you know, my wife and I talk about this a lot, but I feel like happiness has a lot to do with filling a cup. Every day you start your day with an empty cup. And throughout the day, you want to do things to fill your cup all the way to the top. For me, that looks like exercising, working hard on things that I'm passionate about. Of course, I love spending time with my wife and 2 daughters, doing cool stuff with my friends, building and driving some of my favorite cars on planet Earth, and of course, a good cup of coffee. Ooh. So I'm genuinely so excited to be working with my favorite motivational beverage company, Cometeer. 110% the most difficult part for me with making coffee every day was just the time that it took to make and clean up. Like, and you guys are gonna call me after this. I'm a little bit of a coffee snob. Like, I've tried those automatic like coffee makers. It's just not my thing. I either like to go to a coffee shop or I like to make fresh pour over coffee at home. But when I make coffee at home, it's like I have to get out 100 different things to make 1 cup of coffee. But the guys and gals at Cometeer are changing the game. Check this out. Cometeer is a frozen coffee pod. So it's all 100% fresh coffee made in these little recyclable pods. So it's literally just frozen coffee that you melt. That's how you make, you melt this and then you drink it. It turns into this, a delicious cup of coffee. It tastes just as fresh as the coffee that I used to make at home, but it literally takes 1/4 of the time. So check this out, you just rolled out of bed, you want a fresh cup of coffee. Come over here to the fridge, you grab one of your little coffee pods, you run it under hot water for just a couple seconds, pop that bad boy open, drop it in your glass, rinse this guy out, recycle it, drop in a healthy 8 ounces or whatever tickles your fancy. And if you're like me, you're just gonna drop in a little bit of honey, and you've got what I would consider to be one of the best cups of coffee on planet Earth. Oh, motivational beverage on point today. So if you're like me, you drink it hot with just a little bit of honey. If you're like my wife, you drink it iced with like 90% milk. And there's nothing wrong with that, I'm not judging. To make it iced, I just put some hot water in a little cup, let this guy defrost in there. A little bit of ice, milk, and top it off with a fresh, flash frozen coffee pod. So I genuinely want to thank Cometeer for sponsoring today's video. This is legit my favorite coffee now. Not just because of the time that it saved me, but because it legitimately tastes like the coffee that I used to make at home. So there's a link in the description below. You can save 20 bucks on your first order of Cometeer coffee. They work with some of the best regional coffee roasters to make the freshest, best coffee. And also, so you just have a variety. We have a light roast here, medium roast here, dark roast here on the bottom. So again, support those who support us. Click the first link in the description below. Save yourself 20 bucks and grab some of the best coffee on planet Earth, baby.
Here we go into the garage of dreams. I need a setup like this so bad. So if you guys don't already recognize this garage just by the lights on the walls, we're here at Mr. Landon, by the way, garage. Round of applause, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
There's no applause sign.
Okay, we're gonna get back to the Q&A in just a minute, but Landon was like, oh, dude, like, am I in your shot? Do I need to move over a little bit? I'm like, no, man, you're fine. Just get comfortable, and this is the pose that he chose. Look at him. You do actually look comfortable. Okay, so Landon just bought the C7. He just started vlogging. There's a link below to his channel. Make sure you go check him out. Okay, so on to the next question. How much have you spent on your cars? I'm gonna do this super quickly. Current market value, GTR 80, Corvette 45, Raptor 45, Fox Body 5, total of $175,000 in cars. Now keep in mind that's not including parts. So leave a comment below, let me know if you want me to do a breakdown of each car, how much you spent on parts and stuff like that, because it's probably at least just as much, or at least it feels that way. Will you ever do a meet and greet? I don't know, maybe. Hertz is Cool says, how do you afford the GTR and C6? Well, dumb videos on the internet. I'm only half kidding because a good chunk of the income does come from YouTube, dumb videos on the internet, but another good portion of it is like legit video production. I focus on short form social media advertising. Why do you want to get rid of the donk? We gotta get close for this one. The donk served its purpose. The donk had a life cycle. The ultimate came to an end, so I gave it to James.
No! No, I don't want it! Get this out of here! I don't want anything to do with it! Get this junk out of here! I don't want your Christmas present. I don't want your charity. No, I don't want it.
Why don't you unwrap it at least? Don't give it away before you don't even know what it is.
I'm fairly aware of what it is. I can see the 28s.
Any car purchases or modifications you seriously regret. Now you might think it's a donk, but no regrets.
That's my credo, no regrets.
Does the Z06 need new tires after that nice burnout? No, I actually got a separate set of wheels and tires to do the burnout on to keep the nice ones fresh. Do you miss the donk? No. Favorite color? Black. Love your GTR, man. I love you, Ollie. Favorite car in the fleet? You're looking at it. When's the Fox Body build starting? We're starting this week. I've already got meetings set up with people to do the wide body, people to do all the motor and power stuff. So coming soon. What did you do before YouTube and 8080? I did a lot of different things. I kind of had like career ADHD, if that's a thing. I worked for a bunch of different companies and I actually started a few of my own companies. I actually had a wheel spacer and adapter company. I also made my own app. I actually don't do either of those anymore. So right now it's just video production and YouTube. How scary was it to start a YouTube channel? You know, not that scary, because if you're familiar with what I do for 8080, I do a lot of like talking on camera, and so I started doing that like 2 or 3 years before I even started a YouTube channel, so I feel like I was already pretty accustomed to talking on camera, but that initial transition of like getting used to like hearing my voice, and especially editing was the worst. If you've ever like heard your voice just like over and over and over again, you're like, wow, I'm like such an idiot. But if you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, push past that, because chances are you're the only person that thinks you sound dumb. You have to give up either SpongeBob popsicles or the GTR. SpongeBob popsicles.
Why?
What is your favorite thing to do when you're not filming? I love spending time with my family, actually. That sounds corny, but it's true. I'm a proud film-based student. Are you working on adding content soon? Kai, the French guy, my guy, keep it up. Thank you for being a part of the film-based course. If you guys aren't familiar with it, it's my online video course where I just teach how I shoot these videos, how I shoot ads, how to talk on camera, how to entertain and sell through videos. But to answer your question, yes, I am adding more content soon. If you guys are interested, there's a link below. I'll see you in there. Fastest you have ever gone in your Corvette? Not like that fast, like probably like 120, 125. I don't really feel like the need for speed.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
But on the real, like, I've never really like felt like this urge to just want to just go as fast as I can, because I feel like that's where things start to break and like accidents can happen. And like once you get into that like above 120, 125 plus miles an hour, I feel like that's where it really starts to get reckless and you're putting like your own life and other people's lives at danger. Would you buy a C8 Corvette? Absolutely. I actually have a deposit on one. It's a Z06. Hopefully we'll get it next year. On average, how much content do you have to sort through and edit to make a video? I typically shoot like a total of like an hour. So like probably 45 minutes to an hour worth of footage, and I condense that down into like a 10 to 15 minute video usually. What is your life motto? It's hard to say these out loud because like, I feel like it just sounds so corny, but one that always sticks in the back of my head is a quote by Babe Ruth. It's hard to beat a person who never gives up. Drift car build, should we? Are you going to take your cars on a trip traveling America? That'd be sick, should we do that? Where do you think you'd be if you didn't do YouTube? I'd still just be making videos on the internet. Are you ever going to sell your GTR? No. Who's the Stradman Snapchat girl? She's on Snapchat. Can we get a pic of her? No. Merch drop, this is a big question, should we? How are you? I'm good, how are you? What the dog doing? I don't know what the dog's doing.
Bark.
When will the GTR break down? Thomas, I don't need you bringing that negativity around here, okay? Are you planning on moving into a bigger house with a bigger garage? Someday for sure, but right now our house fits so well into our budget and it allows me to explore things with YouTube. So the answer is yes, but in the future. How old are you? I'm 29. Will you move in with James when his house is done? I doubt James wants 2 kids running around his house. From 1 to 10, how do you like Utah? 10. Pizza or hamburgers for the rest of your life? Pizza! Okay, yeah, this question. How much have you made on YouTube? I'm a little hesitant to answer this because I don't want to come across as like douchey. But I mean, this is like a real thing. Like a lot of people just want to know how much you make a year on YouTube or on doing whatever you do. Like they're a legit whole account, like TikTok's accounts and YouTube accounts and stuff like that of people just asking how much people make or what they do for a living, like that kind of stuff. So take this with a grain of salt, but on video production and like YouTube and stuff like that, in 2021 so far, a little over 160,000. And again, don't like take it the wrong way, don't make it weird, but just like a lot of people ask, so I'm just trying to be transparent. What's the next car? I don't know. What do you think about the R32 Skyline? It's my favorite Skyline. What is the worst thing about your GTR that's not fast enough? What is your dream build of builds? Honestly, the Fox body is one of them, and it kind of surprised me. And it's funny because I've never been like an American muscle, American vehicle kind of guy. So the fact that I own a C6 Corvette that's currently getting built to 1,000 horsepower and I'm building a Fox body Mustang is a huge surprise to me. But ever since I saw the Huna Fox, I've wanted to do that Fox body Mustang build. So yeah, if it turns out anything like what I'm dreaming of, that's gonna be the dream build. Why can't you take James's warehouse when his new house will be done? If he's okay with that, I probably could. Are you still wide bodying the GTR? So I did have a wide body kit that was just sitting in a crate ready to go for the GTR. I ended up changing my mind and I went with the Darwin Pro kit and kept it narrow body. I did actually just sell the wide body for the GTR because I don't have any plans of wide bodying it in the future. Why haven't you jumped the Raptor yet? Because I'm scared. No, there just hasn't been a good opportunity to do it yet. Is the Fox body gonna have a turbo or maybe 2? Of course, if you bet your bottom dollar, it's gonna have 2 turb skis. How long does it take you to normally edit a single video? It kinda depends. It depends on how buck you get with the edit. I've edited videos in like 2 to 4 hours. I've also edited videos in like 15 hours. It depends on how much footage I shoot that day. It depends on like how on point I am with talking, because a lot of times I'll have to like redo takes over and over and over again. As a safe average, I would say like 8 hours. 8 hours of video. How's storing the cars going? Sucks. Updates on the Z06. I wish I knew. How's your experience with YouTube and demonetization? Fortunately, I feel like my content is pretty clean for the most part. And I do that intentionally, like not just for monetization, but also because like, I don't want people to think I'm some like gross, vulgar person on the internet. But to answer your question, I've actually never had a video be demonetized and I've never received like a copyright claim. Relating to James's house, how do you imagine your own dream car house? Honestly, I feel like James has kind of got it figured out. He's got the 2 like main garages upstairs. He's got that main warehouse garage, which I think is gonna hold 10 cars, and then the Bat Cave, which is for another 10 cars. That setup's gonna be sick. Advice for starting a YouTube channel. To start with, I'd pick 1 or 2 topics and focus on those. I picked cars and friends. We need a big turbo on your GTR. You're gosh dang right we do. What are your top 3 favorite cars that Stradman owns? The pink Roadster, the Porsche Safari, and the Gladiator. If you could wrap your GTR, what color would you do, or would you leave it the same as it is now? I love the blue. I think the blue looks so good. This is colored by KPMF, but honestly, this might surprise you. I'm actually excited to unwrap the car. I think the black looked so sinister, and I had to wrap it so quickly for SEMA that I feel like I didn't really get a chance to enjoy it when it was just like full on black. I felt like it just looked so sick. The road presence was so rad when it was all black. So yeah, I'm excited to unwrap it. What do you want to achieve in 2022? I want to hit 250,000 subscribers, 250,000 on YouTube. I want to finish the Fox body build, which is pretty ambitious, but I feel like we could do it. And I love to travel, so I want to take at least 2 super cool family vacations. Would you ever buy a McLaren? If you know anything about anything on this channel, you know that my dream car is a 720S. When is the 720 coming? I don't know. That is actually also a big goal of 2022. I would love to be in a place where I could buy a 720S sometime next year. When did you start liking cars? It's probably around like 7 or 8 years old. Hardest part about being a content creator right now, since I'm like a one-man show, I shoot and edit like all my own stuff. It's staying up super late, editing all these videos. It's super taxing at times. What does your family think about it? For the most part, super supportive. Why are you not wide bodying your GTR? Because everybody does it. Good idea for a beginner camera, an iPhone or a Sony like a6300. How do you manage to have time for filmmaking and having fun with cars? Fortunately, I put them both together, so I always have time for both. Come to South Australia, bro. Dude, I'd love to. Advice for automotive content creators. I feel like it's really easy to fixate on like, oh, like I need to buy like the next mod, I need to buy the next car, which is good, and I feel like it's important for an automotive YouTube channel, but it's also important not to get carried away with that. I wanted to start like a car automotive YouTube channel, and I started it without actually having a car. Like my first like 15 videos were just with my Toyota Tacoma, which I think is a relatively boring car. It didn't have any cool mods or anything like that. So I guess just like try to be creative and make the most of what you have. Thoughts on a cheap, fun first car? I've actually never had one, but I think like the older like N54 335i's, the BMW 335i, I think it's a sick first car. How tall are you? 6'2". Would you trade in your Raptor for the TRX? No. What is your favorite focal length when filming and why? I've got 2. 16 millimeters when I'm vlogging, 35 for anything else. Have you ever been to Michigan? No. Are you planning on buying a new car before the Fox Body Mustang is done? I think the Fox Body build is gonna take a year or more, so yeah, definitely. What keeps you inspired to do what you do? Because I find it very hard to keep inspiration. This, again, with the corniness, but it's you guys. Like, I really like reading through the comments. I like seeing everybody that like gives the video a like. I feel like you guys are like some of the best friends I could ever ask for, because pretty much every comment, like 99.9999% of comments are super positive. You guys are awesome. And honestly, that keeps me very inspired. What camera do you use? This is a Sony a7S III with a 16-35 on it. Why have you not done any crazy videos from Amazon inflatable merchandise lately? We need to, we gotta bring it back. I've got like a basement full of inflatables. What plans do you have for the Ford Raptor? I'm still considering doing like a twin turbo build on it or a Pro Charger. I think it'd be sick, but it's also really reliable, so. Will you race Tanner Fox? Yes, and Kit absolutely mocked up. How much horsepower will the C6 have? 1,000 horsepower, baby, coming in hot. What is your dream American muscle car you'd get if money wasn't a factor for GT? If you had to pick one car and keep it forever, what would it be and why the GTR? I'm convinced the GTR is the best all-around daily driver for everything. What editing software do you use? Adobe Premiere Pro. Who's your favorite non-car related YouTuber? Probably Danny Duncan.
Well, as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this quick Q&A video. As always, if you made it this far in the video, you're a real one. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and the bell. And on that note, see you in the next video.